Hi, welcome to Roy's Game Table. Today we have Adventure 1 of the Bones of Arnor campaign. So pull up a chair and let's begin our journey. This is my first game of the Lord of the Rings Journeys of Middle-earth, and I'm excited to get started with the Bones of Arnor campaign. I hope you are excited in joining me in this campaign. Bones of Arnor. Ancient kingdoms once spanned the realm of Arnor, kingdoms that now lay in ruin. The free people who still inhabit these lands are scattered, simple, and few. Beyond their poorly patrolled borders, an unknown darkness gathers, and only a small band of ostracized rangers has taken notice of the threat. Halbarad, captain of the Northern Watch, requests your aid. A shadow is within the borders. Forces gather outside the rangers' reach, and tales of unquieted dead begin to circulate anew. Alright, we're going to be doing normal difficulty. I have thought some about what heroes I'm going to use as I go on this campaign. I'm going to be using 2 heroes for this campaign. And based on what I've read on Board Game Geek, and I have watched a video or 2 of the first adventure of this campaign, plus I'm familiar with the Descent Road to Legends app. I'm not sure how much this is like that app, but from what I know of these games that are similar to this and what I've learned, I feel like movement is a big part of this campaign, or at least it will be. And so I think the Pathfinder role is considered like the movement role of this campaign. And the reason why I think movement is important is because you need to be able to get your objectives quickly, but also if you can get yourself a free movement point to get in position for objectives, or to be able to get in position to fight and attack twice on your turn, that's what you want to do. And so the Pathfinder role, I think, is what I want to use, and the rules suggest to go with Beravor for that. Also, I think that I want to be able to do a combat-focused role, and the Hunter seems to be the best damage-dealing role from what I understand, and the rules recommend Legolas for the Hunter role, so I'm going to be going with Beravor and Legolas. I'm going to keep their starting items. All right, Roy's Game Table.
The shadows grow, though few take notice. The vigilant, the wary, and the old. We can feel it, but it is a darkness that rises slowly. It dwells among us, masked and unobtrusive. One must be paranoid to know it's there, to notice, hunt it, and root it out. In recent months, a rash of thefts have swept through Eriador, from the white towers of Beriad to the old ruins of Weathertop. Not 2 weeks past, many of the older treasures of the Shire's Matham House disappear into the night. The significance of these thefts may seem small, but I sense the shadows in their wake. I fear a sinister and hidden purpose, and so I have called for your aid.
All right, it's Shadow in Eriador, Chapter 1. A shadow in Eriador. The theft of the Matham House is the talk of the Shire, for seldom of the Shire folk play a role in the larger world. And so these events seem small as a hobbit. But one small fellowship has gathered together to seek out these brigands, and it looks like we'll be in the South Downs. Okay, so I want to have Beravor as the Pathfinder and Legolas as the Hunter. Somewhere amid this maze of dark thickets and steep gullies, the band of thieves now hides. Your direction is informed by a set of tracks from 2 days ago, and you can only guess the location of the thieves' lair. Alright, 302A, I have this right here. Alright, I've got the map for 302A right here, and we'll set it out. Okay, and I think that's about right. If you cannot locate and enter the hideout by dark, the trail may be altogether lost. Place heroes is indicated. Each hero scouts 2. Okay, I'll put my heroes out. And they go on this middle space, it looks like. Okay, and then each of them scout 2. So let's go to our characters. We'll start with Legolas. And so he'll scout 2. Now, I've already shuffled the deck, so we should be good here. He's got a clever wit and immortality. Okay, well, the immortality, as you can see there, it does not have any kind of icon, fate, or success icons. And so I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and prepare that one. And by the way, he starts with, the reason why he starts with an inspiration token is because of resourceful, which... After you prepare this skill, gain 1 inspiration. At the start of the game, you do prepare that skill. It's a starter skill, so that's why he has an inspiration. But I'm going to prep that, and I do have an inspiration. But I think I'll just go ahead and put that on top of his deck, so I can be sure to have at least 1 success on what we're going to do. Okay, so now let's go down to Beravor, and she'll scout 2. She has honed agility and paths unseen. After you sprint with this skill, you may place another hero in your space without provoking attack. Sprint 1. Okay, so if I take path unseen and prep it, I know I'm taking a success out of my deck, but to be able to sprint 1, as I said, I want to be able to move, and I think that's very important. And so I think I am going to go ahead and take the chance and just prep that for her here. And then I don't have an inspiration yet with her, so I think I'm going to put this on the bottom of her deck and see how that goes. A dense fog blankets the area, covering an already treacherous land. Place a threat token as indicated. Alright, so we'll do that over here on this space. A large chest is concealed in this patch of shadows, kept safe by a sturdy but corroded lock. Place a search token here at the top, it looks like. Okay. And then place the 100A as indicated. Alright, so I have that down here. And it looks like it's going to go just like that. Alright, I think I got that right. In the distance, a group of ragtag individuals close the doors of a stone tomb. Could this be your quarry? The thieves you were looking for. Place a person token as indicated. So could this be your quarry, the thieves that you're looking for? Sorry about that. Looks like they'll go down here on 100A. Place a 203B as indicated. Alright, let me grab that. Okay, and so this will be placed like this. All right, that is 203B. And then we need 206A. Okay, and this 206A will go right here. Okay, so we've got 206A placed. And we're going to be dropping 2 exploration tokens. Pushing to tighten your boots and adjust the weight of your gear, you take a breath before continuing on. Each hero will test Spirit, and each hero who passes gains 1 inspiration. Okay, let's go first to Legolas. So we're going to be testing Spirit. And I only need a 1, but his spirit, he only has a 2 spirit, as you can see right here. So, we know he had that one. All right, well, I can spend an inspiration to gain an inspiration, basically, here. I mean, I don't really see the point, so I just won't do it, and he just won't gain that second inspiration. Okay? Let's go down to Beravor. Time of Need, and so she also does not get, well, she doesn't have any inspirations to spend, so she will not get an inspiration. So neither will pass. All right, the objective, confront the thieves. All right, so as you can see here on this, we have 2 spots that need to be explored and a threat icon. And if we don't deal with these, then it's going to add threat. It goes up, threat goes up each round for 2 for each player in the game, so at least 4 every round. But if we don't deal with the 2 unexplored tiles, and this threat token is going to be 1 additional for each of those, so we go up 7. So I'm going to try to work on getting those explored and getting this threat token taken care of. All right, I think I'm going to start with Legolas here, and I'm going to have him move over his first action to move 1 point over into here to try to see if we can deal with this threat icon, or threat token that's there. So let's go back to the app, and it says a dense fog blankets the area covering already treacherous land. Okay, so we're going to search that for our second action. The ground beneath you, your feet becomes rocky and choked with roots intent on tripping you. Test agility, and I have to get a certain amount of points of agility in order to pass. I don't know how many, but his agility is 4, so he's going to get a lot of, he's going to get several opportunities here. So let's see, we got 1. I do have an inspiration. 2, there's a success. There's another success. All right, so I've got 2 successes, and I can spend my inspiration that I got here. I think I will go ahead and spend that. So that is going to be 3 successes here. So let's put that in the app. You pass over the hazardous ground without falter or pause. Threat decreases by 2. Discard this threat token. Okay, well, I don't get anything good, but because there is no threat to decrease, but at least nothing bad happens. And I'm going to discard these cards. Okay, and so Legolas, he has 1 movement point still for this action, and I'm going to go ahead and use it to move him in to this area and then discard this threat token. Okay, then it's back to Beravor, and I want to have her do some exploration here to get some of these lands explored. I know there's a chest here, but I don't want these adding threat, so I'm going to go ahead and have her for her first action. Oh, by the way, let me go back to Legolas real quick here. Resourceful says, after, as you can see, after you prepare this skill, you get inspiration. At the end of your turn, you can discard this skill to gain 1 inspiration or scout 1. I'm going to discard this skill for him to gain an inspiration. So he'll get back the one that he had to spend on that test to succeed. Okay. So I'm going to have Beravor for her first action move in here with 1 movement point and stop and go ahead to the app and tell them that we're going to explore. A winding track leads through a corpse of ancient trees and a dilapidated hovel, apparently abandoned, slumps nearby. Okay, discard this inspiration token and gain 1 inspiration. So I will take this as an inspiration or put it on her board. All right, continue. Your journey continues. Okay, nothing there that's significant to look at. Nothing pops up. So I'm going to have her with her second movement point move in here to this next area. I think let me show you what I want to do here. She has this Trailblazer ability here that she starts with. And it says before you sprint, gain 1 inspiration, sprint 1. I think I'm going to go ahead and use that so that I can move in to the next unexplored area without having to spend an action. And then if there's a token there in her space that she moves into, I can spend that second action to go ahead and interact with that token, or I can use an action to move again if I need to. So I'm going to discard this Trailblazer thing to give her a token. Okay, and then she's going to sprint 1. Okay, so we'll have her move into here, and we'll go to the app and let them know what we're doing. Between 2 small hillocks, a deep hole leads into an unseen underground cavern. Discard the exploration token and gain 1 inspiration, so she'll get that. So now she's at 3 of her 4 inspiration tokens. A dense fog blankets the area, obstructing your vision with its dark shadows. Place a threat token as indicated. It's right on the space, as you can see, that Beravor is. And so that's good. That's the reason why I wanted to sprint in there, because now I can interact with that token and try to get rid of it before the shadow phase. Sheer rock walls drip water into a fathomless hole. Place a search token as indicated. Okay, and that's going to be in the next space up. Your journey continues. As you know, I used my first action to move, but then I sprinted 1. That was a free movement. So now I still have her. She still has her second action, and I'm going to go ahead with that second action because she's right here on the spot next to this threat token. I'm going to go ahead and try to deal with this threat token. Shadow lives within the fog, creating a barrier that your eyes cannot penetrate. Unable to see the ground on which you stand, you hesitate to push forward. And it's a test of spirit, which she has a 3, and we need to have a 2 to pass. All right, well, let's go over to her. And the good news is I do have a few inspiration tokens, so hopefully I can get at least 2 successes. There's 1, and that is her weakness, arrogant. She's an arrogant Pathfinder, I guess. 2, there we go. There's a success. 3, and there's a success, so we have the 2 successes that we need. All right, we passed the test. You step forward boldly, inviting any danger that may come. The fog parts and dissipates, banished by your display of valor. Threat decreases by 2. Discard this threat token. Okay, we will. All right, and I need to go ahead and put these in her discard pile. Okay, so that is the end of both of the actions of our heroes, and so now it's time to click this and go to the end of the action phase. So in the shadow phase, the shadow deepens, though hope yet endures. Threat increases by 4. All right, rally phase. Cool, so nothing real bad happened that time. Each hero resets their deck and then scouts 2. Okay, so let's go to Legolas first. And he gets a Clever Wit and Undying Might. Well, his wit is a 3, as you can see here. His wit is 3, and his might is only a 2. So I think I'll prep the Undying Might. And then I do have an inspiration token, but yeah, I'll go ahead and put it on top because I'm about to interact with this person token, and I think this is going to help me. So I'll put that on top to ensure at least 1 success. And then for Beravor, she gets a Ancient Wisdom. When you rest, you may discard this skill to add 1 success. Okay, when you test wisdom. Okay, and then time of need. And I really like time of need. As you can see, when you test, if you do not reveal any successes, you may discard this card to convert all fate icons to success. I'm going to prep that one over here, and then I'll put this one on top so that maybe I'll pull it, and if I pull all fate tokens and I need it, I might go ahead and use time of need. Action phase. Okay, I think I'm going to start with Legolas again. I'm going to have him go ahead and work on this person token down here. So let's go back to the app. And we got to move so that we can click on this. You note the guard mimics that of Brelanders, but their accents are varied. These are not merely local riffraff. You pause and consider what is your best approach. Alright, so I can say, well met friends. I can sneak up and eavesdrop, step away from the tomb or else. Or I can cancel. I'm not going to cancel. And I think let's just be nice. Let's see if being friendly helps out at all. The group turns on you, weapons and stolen goods in hand as you suspected. These are the thieves you seek, and they are ready to slay you where you stand. Gain 1 inspiration, then discard this person token. Well, at least we got inspiration out of it, but that doesn't sound good, what I just heard. And we'll discard the person token. Your enemy shows no sign of mercy nor any inclination that they will accept the same in return. With malice in their eyes, they raise their weapons, ready to defend what they have stolen. Place 2 ruffians as indicated. Okay, so we're going to be putting 2 ruffians on the same space with Legolas. He's made him mad. He was trying to be friendly, but it didn't matter. He's made him mad, but it looks like we have found something we needed. Objective updated. Defeat the ruffians. Okay, so we have to defeat these guys. Alright, well, Legolas still has 1 action left, and if you notice from his ability up there, I hope you can read it, it says once per round, during your turn, you may spend 1 inspiration token to move 1 space without provoking attacks. And also, his great bow right here has the ranged icon, if you can see that, which means I can attack from 1 space away. So, I am going to use an inspiration token of his. I'm going to discard that to move him 1 space away so that I can attack these ruffians and hopefully defeat them on this attack. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. If not, Beravor is going to have to come all the way back to help, and I really don't want her to have to do that because I'd like to stay down there, but I may have no choice. Okay, so I'm going to use the great bow here, and that is going to be an agility test. You can see on the top left corner he has a 4, so 1, we have at least 1 success. 2, there's another success. 3, that is nothing. And 4, so we have, I will spend this inspiration token, and so that's going to be 3 successes. And that means I can do, as you see on the great bow, let me move these out of the way. As you can see there on his great bow, 2 successes is 5 hits. 1 success is 2 hits. I got a total of 3 successes, so I can get the total of 7 hits. And we will put that in. Okay, so we got 7 hits. Alright, we are going to apply 7 hits and remove 1 ruffian from the board. Alright, we'll do that. And this is if they were in the same space or if they had a ranged, which they don't, if you notice down here. If you notice down at the bottom, they don't have a ranged icon, so they can't attack back, so no. Alright, well that's Legolas' turn. He did the person token, and he attacked and got that free movement, so now it is over to Beravor. And she is going to have to... she's going to have to come over here. Now, If we remember, Beravor's got this Paths Unseen placed here, and it says after you sprint with the skill, you may place another hero in your space without provoking attacks and sprint 1. So I am going to use that skill, and I think I'm going to go ahead. I don't know that I'm going to use it to move Legolas out in case she can't kill him. Let's see. They have... Well, he only has 3 hits left, so I might take the risk and move Legolas down to where she's at down there so that he can start moving on his next turn. But I'm definitely going to go ahead and sprint. So I'm going to discard this card to do that. Okay, so she's going to sprint and move here, and then once per round after you sprint, hide, or strike, you may scout 1. So by the way, I'm going to go ahead and move Legolas down to the space she's in down here, so hopefully she can kill him. And alright, I changed my mind. I'm not going to move him down there because I just realized that even with sprinting, she can't get to his space this round and even attack him. So she's going to have to just she's going to have to get as close as she can to help him. In fact, I'm going to take back her sprint thing, and she's not going to sprint from this space over here. And she's just going to stay over there and do something because she can't make it over here to fight that ruffian anyway on this turn, even if she sprints over. And so I'll have to leave Legolas here to try to defeat that ruffian. I want to see what this token is. So let's go back to the app, click on that. Silver walls drip water into a fathomless hole. Okay, well, let's move Beravor with one action over here and interact with that token. Let's see what happens. Peering into the hole, you see what might be glints of jewels or eyes in the depths. You must climb down to find what those lights are. Test her might, which is a 3, and she does have a few inspirations. We're going to test her might. So she has a fate icon, a nothing, and another fate icon. Well, I think I'll use 2 of her inspirations to give her 2 successes. So let's go ahead and put that into the app. You safely lower yourself into the dark hole. You climb down for what seems like ages, but nothing bars your way. Gain 1 inspiration. Okay, well, she'll just basically get 1 of her inspiration tokens back. Eventually, you step down onto a sandy floor, the dark pressing around you. Test spirit. You may add 3 successes if you ignore darkness. Okay, well, I don't think she's in darkness, so it looks like I'm going to get to do that. So let me return these. She did gain that inspiration. Okay, and so now I have to test spirit, which is also a 3. That's one nice thing about Beravor, as you can see there. Everything is a 3 except for wit. She only has a 2 wit. But she's testing spirit. So here we go. 1 success. Fate. And nothing, and it says I can add 3 successes if I ignore darkness. So I'm going to go ahead and use 1 of her inspiration tokens to make that a total of 5 successes, I guess. Peering about, you see the sandy floor is in fact a collection of shining gems. You collect some and climb back into the light. Lore increases by 2, gain 1 inspiration, then discard this token. Alright, so she'll gain her inspiration back. And I'm going to discard the token. Well, that was her second action. I still have 1 move point, but I'm just going to leave her where she's at. And we will go ahead and end the action phase. Shadow phase. Let's see what happens here. So the ruffian is going to move 2 and attack Legolas. Okay? So he doesn't need to move 2. He's right here. A ruffian brandishes a jagged knife. The blade, although rusted in places, looks very sharp. And his spirit negates. It's only a 2. And he doesn't have any inspiration. So if you suffer damage from this attack, gain 1 weakness and shuffle it into your deck. Oh, that is not good. Already. Okay, so spirit will negate. Okay. Well, there's 1 success. And we have that. Unfortunately, I have nothing that can... Actually, nope, I don't have anything that can prevent it. I do have the cloak, but I have to have an inspiration to avoid that damage. And nothing else will do it, so I'm going to have to take 1 damage and then gain a weakness and shuffle it into my deck. Let me go ahead and do that. So I'm going to get the weakness and shuffle that into my deck. Okay, and then I'm going to have to take a face-up damage. And it's going to be flip this card face down. Okay, so that's not too bad, and it's behind the screen here. Alright, so as you can see, he suffers this 1 face down damage. So let's go back to the app. Tell it what happened. Your pursuit has been too slow. The last of the bandits escaped, disappearing from sight. Remove the ruffian enemy group from the map. Alright, I hope that doesn't hurt us too bad, but that's what we're going to do. Sudden movement draws your eye. To your surprise, the goblin breaks cover and sprints away, disappearing into a wall of brambles. You follow it with haste and find beyond the thicket a wide valley dotted with a few ruins, but no sign of the creature. Lore increases by 1. Okay, place of 207A is indicated. Okay, so that'll go right here. And that is going off the screen. So I'll adjust the map in just a minute. Let's go ahead and see what else happens. 204A. Alright, that looks like that goes right here. Or it matches up with this gray border line. Yes, that looks like it's correct. And 209B. Okay, and it looks like 209B is going to come right here like that. I think that's right. Let me zoom out here. It looks right. Okay. Place exploration tokens on each one of those newly revealed maps. What has drawn such a creature here far beyond the reach of any orc stronghold? Its armor bore resemblance to that of Mount Graham, but far to the north does that mountain stand. A dark alliance has been formed indeed for such a creature to be summoned here. You must find tracks leading to the enemy's lair to continue. Searching the surrounding area will yield the clues and tracks you need. So I need 3 tracks. Objective updated. Find clues to locate the hidden lair. Tracks needed 3. Okay, yeah, we know that. The shadow deepens, though hope yet endures. Threat increases by 7. Alright, rally phase. Each hero resets their deck and then scouts 2. Okay, we'll start with Legolas. He'll scout 2. He has keen eyes and tireless. Okay, and I really like tireless. So I'm going to go ahead and it doesn't have any kind of icons on it anyway. It lets me perform an action that I haven't performed at the end of my turn. So I think that'll be good. And then for this, I don't have an inspiration token, so I'm going to put this at the bottom, I think, of his deck. Alright, and I like to try to show what's going on, but it was covering up his stuff, so I'm going to leave it off for now. Okay, and then Beravor will scout 2. Ways of Old and Honed Agility. Okay, when you test agility, I get add 1, and the Ways of Old, well, we already know this one. when she sprints, or actually this is different. When you test, you may discard this skill to convert one fate icon to a success and then scout one. Okay, but I'll be taking yet another success out. As you can see, I've already got one here that's taken a success out, so I'm not sure I want to do that. I can already sprint. I'm going to put this on top, and I think I'll put this one underneath it because I do have some inspiration. So that's what I'm going to do. Put my success on top. I'm not going to prepare either one of these. Alright, then we'll go back to the app. Action phase. Okay. I'm going to take a minute to move the map so you can see all of it, and then we'll continue. Okay, so I've actually went ahead and fixed the map where you can see all of it. It's all should be on the screen now. And I'm going to start with Beravor this turn because, as I said earlier, the last time I was going to use this Path Unseen. After you sprint with this skill, you may place another hero in your space without provoking attacks, and I can sprint one. And so I was going to use that earlier, but I kept it. Well, I'm going to use it now because I want to get Legolas up to where I'm going to be. And also, when she moves in, she'll be able to explore this new tile. So I'm going to discard this Paths Unseen here to sprint one, and then I'm going to move Legolas up to my space. And that's one of the things I think is good about the Pathfinder. When I was looking at her cards, is that you can basically teleport someone across the map. I checked on Board Game Geek, and you apparently can do what I just did. That's why it's called Paths Unseen here. So, alright, so she sprints in, and she's going to explore this token. The spray of these waters keeps the banks damp and muddy, perfect for preserving footprints. Discard the exploration token and gain 1 inspiration. So I'm going to have her gain this inspiration. She is up to 3 out of her 4. A heavy tome has been abandoned on the ground, but you can feel a malevolent presence somehow emanating from its pages. Place a threat token as indicated, and it is going to be, looks like, on the space that they're standing on here. Yes, that blue river looks like a border, so I think that goes on their space. Okay. Looking down at Muddy Ridge, you notice what may be tracks on the shore. The way down, however, is steep, slippery, and bears no clear path. Place a search token as indicated. Alright, it's going to be up on the next space. And I took an inspiration token out of the discard pile. I'll just put this one back. Your journey continues. Okay, so Beravor did that. Now I actually have both of my actions remaining. I can't sprint again, so she can try to deal with this threat, or she can move on up and try to search that token up there. But I'm not going to be able to do both on this turn. I think what I'm going to have her do is, for one movement, move into here and go ahead and search this token. Okay, so she's going to search the token. Looking down at Muddy Ridge, you notice what may be tracks on the shore. The way down, however, is steep, slippery, and bears no clear path. Yes, I want to search. You descend carefully, struggling to maintain your footing. Have to test agility, which for her, if you remember, is a 3. Now, if I pull all fate icons on this, I can use her time of need here to get as many successes as I can. But anyway, let's go ahead and test her wit. Alright, well, there's 1 success, so I can't use time of need. 2 successes, and nothing. So I only get 2 successes out of that. I will go ahead and use the inspiration token to get those 2 successes, so I'll discard that in my cards. Let the app know that I got 2 successes on her agility test. Halfway down the steep slope, the mud gives way beneath you. Keeping your footing, you slide down with care and come to rest beside the tracks. They are heavy and wide, large for a man's. Strange though it may be, it appears a large number of orcs have traveled through this way. Discard this search token. Okay. You cast your gaze deeper in the wild. Perhaps the remaining thieves and their allies from Mount Graham are hiding in those hills. And we get to put out a new tile, 400B. Okay, so we got 400B placed. I think it's placed correctly. And then 200A. And we got 200A in play. So we'll place some exploration tokens on 400B and on 200A. You compare the information you have discovered with what you already know of the region. Seeing no obvious signs of the lair, you begin to surmise where the lair may be and continue your hunt. Lore increases by 1, tracks needed 2. Cool, so we found one of the tracks we needed. Alright, and that's it. Now, if you remember, Beravor has 1 more movement point left. So I'm going to go ahead and move her in next door to this one right here and explore that tile next to her. A ridge of bleached crags separate 2 pristine lakes, perfect for fishing. Discard the exploration token and gain 1 inspiration, okay? So she'll do that, and she's back up to her maximum of 3. She's back up to 3 out of 4 inspirations. A dense fog blankets the area, spilling forth from disturbed waters. Place a threat token as indicated. Getting all kinds of threat tokens. But it's on her space. I guess that's good. So she can deal with it next time. Your journey continues. Okay, it's Legolas' turn. As you can see, he's right here on this threat token. If you can see on the map that if he can move here, and if he goes over here, he can explore this area. And I think that's what I want to do. I want to get some of these areas unexplored. But first, I probably will take care of the threat token that's on his space. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so with my first action, I'm going to try to deal with this threat token here. A heavy tome has been abandoned on the ground, but you feel a malevolent presence somehow emanating from its pages. The book is unnaturally heavy, and you are afraid to even touch your fingers to its binding. There is an evil power contained within these pages that must be cleansed. Test spirit, so only a 2. He keeps getting these low tests, and he has no inspiration tokens, so this is going to be very difficult for him to pass. Alright, he does get 1 success, but he has the other weakness, misfortune, so he only gets 1 success. So he's going to fail that test. Your mind buckles under a sudden onslaught of greed. Paranoia and despair, you are forced to turn away before the tome somehow forces you to do its dark bidding. Suffer 2 face down fear. Well, the good news is his fear limit is 6. Bad news is I have to suffer fear, but at least it's face down. Okay, so here's one of his fear and the other one. So 2 fear out of his 6. Okay, and it doesn't get rid of that threat token. Oh. Well, if it's a spirit test again, he's just going to fail it again. I'm going to move out of the space with his second action and just go into here on the 400B and just go ahead and explore this tile. The ruins of a huge castle still stand here, partially intact. Discard the exploration token and gain 1 inspiration. Okay, so I'll do that. So now he finally has an inspiration. A finely dressed hobbit sits upon his pack, humming as he tunes a hobbit-sized lute. Place a person token as indicated. All right. And it looks like that's going to be down here on his space. Your journey continues. And then unfortunately, I do have Tireless, but I can't use it because the only action I didn't do this turn was attack. So I can't discard that to perform another action. But I do want to do something, I think. And as you can see here, Immortality says that rest 2, if I discard at the end of my turn, I can discard 2 face down damage or fear. I'm going to go ahead and do that to discard this fear. Okay, back to the app. And everybody has taken their turn. Shadow phase. The shadow deepens, though hope yet endures. Threat increases by 8. Ouch. From a nearby tree line, you hear the warble of an unfamiliar bird. Then, without further warning, arrows whistle through the air around you. Each hero tests agility, and you have to get a 2. Each hero who fails suffers 2 face down damage. Okay. So we will go ahead and have Legolas do this first. His agility is 4. So that's okay. So let's see. There's 1, nothing. 2, 3. If I have it, which I only have 1 inspiration. All right, we got 1 success. And I do have an inspiration. I'll just use it to turn one of those into a success. So he will fail. He will pass, so he's not going to suffer any face down damage. And then Beravor, her agility is 3. So she's got that, nothing, and a success. Okay, so I got 1 success. I'll just use this inspiration to turn Gift of Men into a success, and so she will also pass. And so neither one of them are going to have to suffer 2 face down damage. All right, we placed one ruffian on the indicated space. Okay, so that's going to be a space over from where Legolas is, and he'll come in with a banner. It's supposed to identify him as different from any other ruffians on the map, but right now he's the only one. All right, we have a goblin scout on the indicated space. Okay, and he'll come in behind Legolas. Rally phase. Each hero resets their deck and then scouts 2. Okay, well let's go ahead and start with Legolas here. He'll scout 2. Time of Need and Unyielding Spirit. Well, I think Time of Need would be good because I have no inspirations, and if I get a bunch of fate icons, I can make it succeed. So I am going to go ahead and prep this. Move his wound down, so now he's got 3 skills prepped, and I'm going to put this on top because I may need it. And Beravor, she will get into hiding and honed agility. Well, it doesn't have this into hiding doesn't have a success on it, but it allows her to go into hiding if there's no enemies on her space, and she can guard 2 with it. So I'm going to prep that ability for her and put this on top for the same reason with Legolas. I might be able to use Time of Need, and she has inspirations. Action phase. Okay, so I have these 2 threat tokens on the board, and I have some enemies and some unexplored tiles. I think I'm going to start with Beravor and just have her go ahead and try to deal with this threat token that's in her space just to start with. So let's go to the app. And we'll click on the threat token. All right. Strange visions build in the shadows beyond this thick mist. Test the wisdom, which is 3 for her, and I need to pass with a 2. Okay, so let's go down to her. All right, so There is one and a blank. Unbelievable. So there is nothing she can do to pass this. She didn't even get... Oh, I'm sorry. What am I talking about? I get one more. She's testing wisdom. There we go. Ooh, sorry about that, folks. I'm trying to keep up with all the different cameras I got going on in this game, and I always forgot to draw her 3 for her wisdom test. So she does have enough to succeed. She only needs 2, and I only have 2 inspirations. I think we're going to hold on to them, and I'll just go ahead and use this time of need here to convert those 3 into successes, and so she will actually have 3 successes. She's going to pass. The images serve not as a distraction, but as a map of places and events to come in time. The visions and mists fade away. Lore increases by 1. Discard this threat token. I'll be happy to do that. The fog seems to have cleared from the area, and you know that it was not entirely natural. Whatever malevolent influence created the fog, you have dealt with it adequately. Choose a hero to gain the Mistwalker title and immediately prepare it. Okay, and here is that title that I was talking about. After your hero explores the title, you may remove this skill from the adventure to place your hero on any space of that tile. And since I think Beravor was the one who got it, or made it happen, I'm going to let her have it so I can prepare it and put it right there. And it has a fate icon on it. Okay, for her second action, as much as I really would like to be able to go and get rid of this other threat token here, I feel like the tracks we need are over here somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and move Beravor over into this area, explore that. So for her second action, she's going to move 1 into this space right here. Okay, so we'll explore that. The gentle hill rises above you, sloping up to a single high perch built in an old oak. A bandit gang might make use of such a lookout perch, but so might anyone hunting bandits. Discard the exploration token and gain 1 inspiration. So I'll do that. I'm going to give it to her. Cobweb shrouded old statue. Place a search token as indicated. Alright, so that's going to be on the next space over. Behind a tree, you see a shoddy platform crafted from old lumber. The vantage point might make it easier to spot signs of the thieves. Place a search token as indicated. And that's going to be on her space. The journey continues. Alright, well, Beravor has 1 more movement point, but I'm going to leave her sit right there so that next time she can search that token. I think that's the best way to do it. So now it's going to be Legolas's turn. And as you can see, he's got some enemies here and a person token here. I think the first thing I'm going to do is just try to take out these enemies so we don't have too many problems. And I will attack the ruffian first, I guess. So let's go back to the app here. Oh, and this one's he's large. What does that mean? Each enemy has bonus health. Okay, so he just has 7 health. Well, I'm going to have to get 3 successes on this to be able to knock him out. And as you can see there, I do have time of need. So if I can get no successes on this pull, I'll be able to defeat that ruffian. So, let's see what happens. I'm going to use my great bow, and that's an agility test, so 4. All right, we knew about that one. That's 1, 2. Another success, which is actually what I didn't want to see right now because I don't have any inspiration tokens, and I want to be able to hit him for 7. All right, well, so basically, I have 1 success, and that is going to only be 2 hits. Alright, can the enemy attack? No, because Legolas is attacking from range. Alright, for a second action, let's attack that big guy again. Let's just see if we can't get him out of the game here. Okay, so we're going to draw 4 again. There's a success. I need one more. Just need one success to pop up here, and I don't know if it's going to happen. No, I only get one success, and I can't even use Time of Need because I drew a success. I have no inspirations. I've got to figure out a way to get him inspirations. So one success is only going to be 2 hits again, as you can see on his great bow. So, one success, that's 2 hits. And our damage dealer isn't dealing a lot of damage. Because he survives. And no, the enemy can't attack though still because he's at range. Well, that's Legolas's turn, but as you can see with this tireless I have here, at the end of your turn I can discard this skill to perform an action that you have not performed this turn and I haven't moved, and I'm going to go ahead and discard this so that Legolas can move. And I'm going to go ahead and move him into this unexplored area here, so let's go to the app. Peering through the brambles, you find a boggy lowland. A rustle of movement draws your attention to the bulrushes. Discard this inspiration token and gain the inspiration. Okay. A patch of bulrushes may hide tracks amid their stalks. Place a search token here. Alright, so that's going to be pretty important. The thicket sits quiet and still, its shifting shadows possibly concealing tracks within. Place a search token. Your journey continues. Okay, so I can always click to see. This one's a patch of bulrushes that may hide tracks. And the other one also might hide tracks. It's a thicket. So they both could be something we need, but I want to get as far away from these guys as I can, I think. And I still have one more movement point, so I'll just go ahead. Well, actually, Beravor is coming around this way. I'll just leave Legolas there for now. So we're going to end the action phase. Alright, so the ruffian is going to move to and attack Legolas or the closest hero. Let's see here. And he can get to Legolas, so he is going to move over here to Legolas. And he's going to attack. You stare with a steely resolve as your foe advances with practiced swings of a club. And agility negates, and I do have an inspiration this time. If you suffer damage from this attack, become emboldened. Alright, well, I might want to do that because let me show you what embolden is, in case you don't know. If he suffers damage, he will get this at the end of your turn. If there are no nearby enemies, discard this boon. If you suffer that, discard this boon. When you attack, add 2 hits. So he could possibly get that. But first, let's see if he negates it. And so he gets to draw 4 because he it has 4 in agility. All right, nothing. Well, that is 1 success. I have an inspiration. 2 successes and nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and just use this inspiration. I know I can become emboldened, but I don't really want to take any more damage. So I'm going to use this inspiration here to turn that into a success. And that'll be it. Okay, so now this goblin over here is going to move to and attack Legolas, and he can. He's going to end up in Legolas' space. The thin goblin lets out an ear-splitting cry, trying to unnerve you. You stand your ground, fixing an icy stare at the wretched creature. Spirit negates, and his spirit is a 2. If you suffer no damage or fear from this attack, gain 1 inspiration. Well, it'll only be a fear, so let's go and see what happens. I don't have any inspirations. I only got one card left, so I'll have to reshuffle, but, well, we have one success. We know we're going to succeed, but I do have to still draw the other one, so I need to shuffle my deck. Okay, so shuffle my deck, and the other one is just going to be a weakness. Good, I get that out at least. But I only needed one to negate, so he will not suffer any damage. And as you can see there, if you suffer no damage or fear from this attack, gain 1 inspiration. So that's good. I'll put an inspiration on his player board. Almost to an event, but we don't. Okay, rally phase. Each hero resets their deck and then scouts 2. Okay, so we'll have Legolas go first on his scouting. He gets weakness and ancient wisdom, which his wisdom is a 3. Okay, well, you know what? I can prepare the weakness to get it out of the deck, and that might be a good thing to do. I have 2 slots. I think I will. I'm going to prepare this weakness so that it doesn't mess me up. And then I'll put this on top so that maybe I can use Time of Need this time, because I'm going to have to do some attacking. Alright, let's move over to Beravor. Okay, she's going to scout 2. Clever Wit and Ways of Old. Okay, well, oh, both of those are good. Her Wit is only a 2. But Ways of Old, well, I am going to need a success, I think, on this to be able to search. I think I'm going to go ahead and prep this Clever Wit because it does, as I said, she's only got a Wit of 2. It's her lowest stat, so I'm going to prepare that and put this success back on top. It would let me sprint, but I think that's the right thing to do. So, let's go back to the app. Action phase. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and start with Beravor, and because I want to search the token that she's on, because I think this will give us a track that we need. I'm hoping it will, so let's go ahead and go to her, or actually let's go to the app. And we're going to search this token here. Behind a tree, you see a shoddy platform crafted from old lumber. The vantage point might make it easier to spot signs of the thieves. We want to climb. You leap for the first branch to begin your ascent. So it's going to be agility. Okay. That's going to be an agility test of 3. All right, so 1 success, we knew that. That can be a success. And 2 successes. I'll go ahead and spend this inspiration so that we can have 3 successes. You find yourself in a tangle. The very branches you hope to use instead impeding your advance. You retreat slightly, looking for a better path. Gain 1 inspiration. Okay? I think I may have been wasting my time here. Yep. And it doesn't even remove the search token, so all I get is an inspiration from that. Alright, well, with her last action, I'm going to go ahead and just move as close as I can. And now we know both of these search tokens over here are going to be tracks. I'm going to go ahead and use into hiding, which says during your turn, if there are no enemies in your space and they're not, you may discard the skill for you, and each other hero in your space become hidden. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and she is now hidden. Okay. Well, it's Legolas' turn, and as you can see, he's got some enemies here, so he's going to go ahead and attack, and he'll just go ahead and get rid of that big ruffian, I guess. Or at least try. He hasn't had a lot of success yet. So let's go over to the app. And he has 3 hit points left. Okay. Okay, let's see if he can get, all I need is 3 hits. And so that's really just 2 successes. I'll be fine. Okay, let's see what he gets. There's 1. And he gets to draw 4, 2, 3. 4, barely gets what he needs. So I'm going to have to use this inspiration, turn that in to a success. So that's 2 successes, which, as you know from his great bow down here, 2 successes is 5 hits. So we'll go to the app and put that in. All right, remove 1 ruffian. You or a nearby hero will gain an inspiration. And I'm going to remove that ruffian and his banner. And I'm going to take the inspiration. Okay. And for a second action, I'm going to go ahead and attack this goblin that's on the space with him. And I'm going to actually need 4 hits. So I'm going to have to get 2 successes again. And knowing the way Legolas' luck is going, I'm not going to get it. Although I have 1 weakness prepped and another one came out last time. So actually there should be a pretty good chance that I can succeed here. We'll find out. Okay, so I get to draw 4 cards again because he's testing agility. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. So I've got 1 success. I do have an inspiration. I'll turn one of these into a success. 2 is all I need because that'll give me 5 hits, and that's enough to take out that goblin scout. Okay, so I'll put in that I did 5 hits. Remove him from the board, and I get an inspiration. I'll get that inspiration back that I spent, and I'll remove this goblin from the board. So there are no enemies, but unfortunately, Legolas is done with his turn. And that's it for both heroes. So we'll go to the shadow phase. The shadow deepens, though hope yet endures. Threat increases by 5, and we're going to have a threat event. An elderly crow perched in the shadows of a dying elm watches you with malicious intelligence. Its incessant cries grow louder and shriller until it erupts into flight and streaks over your head, followed by the cries of more dangerous foes. Place 2 orc marauders on the indicated space. Oh, that's it. Okay. Rally phase. Reset their deck and scout 2. We'll start with Legolas. He can get Keen Eyes or Tireless. Okay, so that'll let me perform an action. I think I will go ahead and put Tireless in again. So now I've got all 4 available skills prepped that I can have prepped. And I'll put Keen Eyes on top in case I can use Time of Need or have the inspiration. Okay? And then Beravor is going to scout 2, Paths Unseen, and gift him in. During your turn, you may discard this skill to discard 1 fear. She doesn't have any fear, but that would be good to go along with Time of Need, which I don't have. So I do have a couple of inspirations. Paths Unseen, after you sprint with this skill, you may place another hero. Okay, I don't think I'm going to prep either one of these. I'm going to put them back on top and hopefully be able to use them as successes. Okay, so we're done with our scouting. Action phase. Alright, as you can see, Beravor is only 2 spaces away from what I'm pretty sure are some tracks. So for her first action, I'll just have her move 2 into here, and then I'm going to have her interact with this search token. A patch of bulrushes may hide tracks amid their stalks. Your first steps are arduous and leave your feet caked with thick mud. I have to test might. Okay, which is a 3 for her, and nothing really to help that. But that's okay. So let's go to Beravor. Alright, so we're going to be testing 3 here. Is it might? There we go. We got 1 success. We knew that because we put it on top. And there's 2, 3 if we need it. Alright, so we can get up to 4 successes. I do have 3 inspirations. I don't know how many I'm going to need, though, actually, to pass this, and I don't want to use up all my inspirations. So I'm hoping 3 is going to be enough, because I'm only going to spend 2 of my inspirations to turn those in and get 3 successes.
Pushing aside tall reeds, you locate deep tracks in the mud. Items of armor and a large shield have been cast off, discarded by desperate travelers as they sank into the bog. Their escape left a clear path, however, and you note the direction. Gain 1 inspiration, then discard this search token. With the clues gathered and the enemies you have faced, you begin to fear that this is no lair of exiles and lowlives. What you are closing in on is a stronghold of the enemy, fledgling though it may be. Your fears, unfortunately, have proved true. A darker purpose and master is being served here. Lore increases by 1, tracks needed 1. Good, so there's one of our tracks.
So now we'll go to Legolas, and he is right here at a search token. So we'll just go ahead and have him stay there and search this token right here.
A thicket sits quiet and still, its shifting shadows possibly concealing tracks within. Peering into the dark depths of the thicket, you find your eyes locked with another's, an orc's eyes. Dark pits of contempt and hatred gaze out at you. You have found an ally of the thieves. Test wisdom, and so we have a wisdom test.
Okay, so we can draw 3 cards. There's 1, 2 successes. So I've got 2 successes, and I can use this inspiration to get a 3rd. I don't really know how many I need, but I think this is important. I'm going to risk it and take this inspiration and spend it to get the 3rd one, because I still do have time of need down here, so that if I don't, I've got 2 successes already out, and so if I need, hopefully I can use time of need if I need it. But anyway, we got 3 successes. We'll let the app know that.
You step into the thicket, and the orc inside stumbles back, caught in the tangle of branches. With a flash of steel, it lashes out, then breaks away, leaving a hint as to the direction of the lair. It has dropped its knife, however, and you pick it up for inspection. The dark, brittle metal is a cheap craft of Mount Graham. Why and how are these creatures so far from their vile and distant home? Lore increases by 1, then discard this search token. At last, you've located the hidden lair of your enemy. Nestled in an old ruin, faint silhouettes of orc sentries dot its high, ruined towers, and you see more movement within. Aware of your nearness, they scramble to ready a defense. For you, all that remains is to devise a way in without their notice before these defenses are prepared. Lore increases by 1, place the search token as indicated. Final objective, infiltrate the lair. With the knowledge of your destination, you observe outposts and patrols that until now were hidden from your notice. Place 1 hungry warg on the indicated space. I'm going to place the warg and then attack him with Legolas' second action.
Okay, so he'll test agility. 1. There's another one that could possibly be. Alright, so I can get 3. I do have time of need prepared, if you remember. I do have that prepared down here with Legolas, and that would allow me to convert all fate icons to successes, because I did not draw a success, and that would do 7 damage. It wouldn't kill him, but it would take off a lot of hits. So I'm going to go ahead and use time of need, discard. I'm going to go ahead and discard time of need here to convert these into 3 successes and to deal 7 hits to that warg.
I accidentally moved the wrong enemy here. I moved the warg, and I was supposed to move the orcs, and so I can't remember how many spaces the orcs are supposed to move. So I'm just going to do the best I can and move them 2 spaces, and then continue on. The warg is now supposed to attack, and he can attack Beravor.
But if you remember, she's hidden. And if you are attacked before you test, prevent all damage and discard this boon. So I'm going to go ahead and discard this. It won't prevent the fear, but it will prevent the damage. So I have to discard that. And then I've got to do a might test, which is 3. So maybe I do have an inspiration token, so maybe I can avoid that fear as well. Let's see what happens. There's 1. I know I definitely can, but I've got to go ahead and do the 2 other ones. For weakness, 2/3 time of need. So I will use one of my inspirations, turn that into a success. Okay, so Legolas gets immortality and light-footed. He can sprint. When you interact with a search or threat token before you test, you may discard this skill to test agility instead and scout 1. That's great, but I really would like for him to search that token. I'd like to have a success. So I think, and I'm going to probably stop along the way to attack that orc group. So I'm going to go ahead and prep the immortality here, and then put this on top of my deck. Okay, and then Beravor gets Ways of Old and Into Hiding. So when you test, you may discard this skill to convert 1 fate to a success. And she is going to be attacking here because she's got to get this warg out of the way. But I really want to save up successes for that search token, but she's just too far away. So I think I'm going to actually, well, Into Hiding won't do me any good because there's an enemy in my space. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put this on the bottom of her deck. And then I'll put Ways of Old, I think, on top of her deck. And if I have to, I'll do 2 attacks to try to get rid of that warg. Okay, we'll just have Beravor go ahead and go first. She will attack this elite, and she's going to need 5 hits to be able to get through it. And she's going to use her staff, and in order to get 5 hits, I'm going to have to get 3 successes. But I know I got 1 on top, so hopefully that'll be able to work out for me. So we'll see what happens here. Her agility is 3, so we know there's that 1 success there. Nothing. And nothing. I do have an inspiration to get 2 successes. I need to at least get 2 so I can stun him. So I'm going to use that inspiration to turn that into a success, and to go ahead and to do the 2 successes, to do 3 hits, and to stun him. All right, so we're going to stun him. Okay, and that'll do it. He is stunned, so he won't counterattack. And now for her second action, I could go ahead and move out of that and get in place for that search token. And I'm really thinking about doing that because we need to get into that layer. And he won't be hard to defeat, I think. So I am going to use her second action to move out. It won't provoke an attack because he's stunned. So I'm going to move 1, 2 over here where this search token is. And that'll be her final action, and we'll move over to Legolas. Alright, so as you can see here, I moved Beravor over to where the search token is. I'm going to move Legolas over that way too. So his first action, I'm going to have him move 1 point, but stop in the middle of his movement to attack these 2 orcs here. Okay, they have a lot of hit points, but I'm going to try to do the best I can to take them out because I do have Tireless, which will allow me to take an action I haven't performed this time, which will be an interact action. I think I am just going to go ahead and attack these orcs just in case we have problems with them later. So he's going to attack with his great bow. He gets to draw 4 cards. 1, and we know that. 2, 3, 4. So he only has 1 success. And I could discard my immortality to get a strike 2 to add 4 to do 4 hits. I'll just go ahead and do that. There's no reason not to, so I'm going to discard that. So he's going to be doing, with 1 success, 2, and the strike 2 will be doing 4 hits on those orcs. Okay, so we'll put that in. And they cannot attack because they aren't ranged. And as I said, that was just one of his movement points, so I'm going to go ahead and move him in here. So he's moved and attacked. I'm going to go ahead and use Tireless to allow him to perform an action that he has not performed on this turn. So a free action with that. And I'm going to search that token there. And hope that I can get some successes on this. The enemy's lair is hidden within an old ruin. All that remains is to devise a way in without their notice. Careful to avoid discovery, you scout the area around the old fort. So he's going to test Wit, which is a 3 for him. So let's go to Legolas. Okay. And so he'll test 3. There's 1. There's 1 success. 2, 3. So I don't have any inspirations. I do get 1 success. That isn't going to be much, but it's better than nothing, I think, the fact that I get a free action here. Alright, so we'll put in 1 success. The patrols, though lacking in vigilance, are surprisingly numerous, and you are not yet able to locate a way in. Well, we figured as much. And that'll do it for all of their actions. Beravor and Legolas are now in place over here. You do still have some enemies in the board, but the warg is stunned, and the orcs hopefully are far enough away. Well, it looks like they'll probably be able to reach them. But let's move on to the shadow phase. Alright, move 1 and attack Legolas. That is the orcs. Well, they can't get either hero, so there is no target. Howling a fierce war cry, the orc marches towards you. Move 2 spaces toward the closest hero. Well, they can do that, so they're going to be able to move into their space. As you can see, the orcs can go up through here, so 1, 2, it'll put them in the space with Beravor and Legolas. The shadow deepens, though hope yet endures. Threat increases by 5. And not quite an event. Hopefully I can do something this turn and get into that lair before that event goes off. We'll have to see, but we're going to reset the deck and scout 2. Let's see what Legolas gets on his scout. Strike 3 and Tireless. Okay, well, strike 3 would be nice, but I don't need to kill orcs. I need to get into that lair. And that's a success, so I kind of want to put that on top. And as far as Tireless, I guess I think I'm going to put the success on top and tireless on bottom. And for Beravor, her scouting, she gets into hiding and paths unseen. So neither one of those will be real helpful for me, I think. And so I think I'm just going to do with her the same thing. I'll put into hiding on the bottom because I can't go into hiding with enemies on my space. And I'll put the success on top. Okay, action phase. Now, I think what I want to do is I'm going to have Beravor go first. I'm going to have her attack that orc group. And if she can get 2 successes, which I know I have 1 already, but if she can get 2 successes, I can stun those, and then that'll free her up to do her next action to search, to interact with that token, and then Legolas can actually do 2 actions interacting with the tokens. And unfortunately, I have no inspirations either one of them do, so they're just going to have to pull successes. Although Beravor does have a clever wit to give 1 success, so when she gets down to that point, she can get 1 success for sure, because I think it's a wit test. So I got lucky there. But let's go ahead and we'll have her attack those orcs. Okay, and really we're just doing this to stun him so that we can interact. Alright, so let's go to her. And she's going to be using her staff there. And as you can see, I just need 2 successes to get 3 hits, but more importantly, a stun. So, agility, she'll be drawing 3. 1, we knew that was there. 2, 3. Okay, we can't convert any of these successes into successes. And so, unfortunately, she can only do 1 hit. And that is, or 1 success, that means she can only do 2 hits, and that's it. That's all she's going to be able to do. So we'll put that in, which just takes down the armor. And the enemies can attack. Well, the good news is, I think this is going to exhaust them. The bad news is she's about to take some damage. So let's see what happens. Alright, an orc's massive hands grip the handle of a wicked-looking axe. Might negates. Okay? So let's go back to Beravor. Okay, and her might is 3, so she'll draw 3 cards. Nothing. 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 Absolutely nothing. She's going to take all 3 of that damage, and she only has a maximum of 5 that she can get. So let's see what her wounds are. Alright, weariness, you just put it face down. Discard all of your boons, then flip this card face down. I don't have any boons, so that'll go face down. And cursed injury, keep this card face up. If you would discard a face up damage, flip it face down instead, okay? Oh, and by the way, okay, no, before you suffer face down damage, you may prevent 1 of that. So I have to take all of these hits. Alright. Well, I'm at 3 out of 5. That's not too bad in the sense that I think it exhausts them. It will. So now we can freely search that token, and hopefully those orcs don't add to it. Because with her second action, I am going to go ahead and search this token here. Again, interact with this token. Okay? So I'm testing wit, which is only a 2 for Beravor. But I do have this clever wit that adds a success. So I'm going to get at least 1. So let's see what happens here. Nothing. And nothing. Absolutely nothing from the draw. But I will use clever wit to add in 1 success. So far we've had 2 interactions with this token, but only 2 successes have been registered in. So I'll go to the app and put... Alright, so just 1 success from her draw for a total of 2 over the 2 interactions. And we didn't get it. Alright, well that's her turn. Now we're going to go to Legolas. He's on the same space. I'm not going to worry about the orcs. They're exhausted. I'm going to go ahead and try to finish this now because I don't want this threat event up here to go off, and hopefully he can get it. But he doesn't have any inspiration tokens either. Alright, but we're going to interact with this token. Okay, he is testing wit. And his wit is 3, so let's see what we can get here. Well, there's 1 success. So only 1 success on that attempt. Okay, nothing. Well, slowly but surely we're getting there. Let's hope we get more successes this time. We took 3 cards off the deck and still have 3 successes in here. So let's do it again with his second action. And I'm not provoking attacks because the orcs that are on their space are exhausted. That's the reason why I'm not provoking the attacks. Let's draw 3 more cards for his wit test and hope that he can get it. Well, that's not going to do any good. There's a success. All right, nothing, but we got another success. So over 4 turns, we've gotten 4 successes. Let's go to the app and see what that does. Okay, we'll put in that success. Slipping past the last patrol, you find a way into the structure without raising an alarm. The heroes win. We did it. 1 success over 4 actions, but we finally did it. You have caught the bandits by surprise and will face the bandit leader on even footing in the next adventure. Lore increases by 2. Each hero receives 4 experience. All right, very good. So we will continue. Well, we did it. So we'll be moving into Chapter 2, The Thieves' Lair, and I think I do get the chance to spend some experience if I want to and level up, but it's late here where I'm at, so I'm going to go ahead and do that at the beginning of my next video when I start Chapter 2. And so thank you for watching this video. I know were probably some mistakes, and I know there were some sound issues, I think, at one point, and maybe some other issues, but it's the first time I'm dealing with a bunch of different cameras as I'm trying to film these playthroughs, so hopefully you forgive me for that. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know when the next Lord of the Rings Journey to Middle-earth video comes out. And until that happens, I'll save you a seat at the table.